UFC Paris. This is the weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. Main event, Gane takes on Tuivasa. Pretty good card. We're going to talk about each of the matchups after seeing the fighters on the scales. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on and share the video as well. Let's start it off with the first one. Ailin, Perez, Stephanie Egger. Women's featherweight. Both girls are women's bantamweights. 45-pound weight class, so really less of a cut for both of them. So the scales is not really a huge concern. I've been on Egger throughout the week. We'll pull up the scales and see how they look. There's Ailin Perez. She looks like quality thick as far as her muscle goes. Egger looks pretty status quo. Maybe not as lean. A little more water in that midsection. And there's the face-off. I'm going to be riding Stephanie Egger still. It is a wide line. She's a quality sized favorite. I guess large size favorite. Really not quality for the people trying to place a bet on her. Minus 235 is the best value on Egger. Perez plus 215. I like the chances of Egger getting throws in the clinch and finding ways on top of Perez. I know Perez is probably going to try and wrestle. I think she'll fall into the Egger trap. Egger has a really good armbar, so submission's definitely not impossible here. We're going Egger for the win. I'm like leaning it sub day before the fights just because I'm thinking of that packed crowd. Maybe adds to the intensity of the matchup. Let's say if you went Egger wins by sub, that line plus 235. Egger by decision is plus 265 best value. I like Egger to get the win. I don't want to say super confident, but I feel like she should get it done. Biggest concern is how good is Perez, right? The wrestling looks good on the lower levels. How's it going to be against Egger, a legit judoka, who's not easy to deal with? I mean, she's not a bad striker either. That upright kickboxing style, decent straight shots, but she wants to fight on the ground. And I think she'll find the fight on the floor here and find success on the ground, especially from the top. If she's on the bottom of Ailin Perez, that's where things get tricky and interesting here. We're still riding Egger for the win. Not a terrible money line play. I'll pick her officially by decision. Ailin Perez could be live as a dog, but you're banking on a chance here because we haven't seen her at that UFC level, and we've seen wins for Egger. I'm going Egger for the victory. Possibility of sub as well, especially if Perez is not as good as advertised. Next fight, Khalid Taha, Cristian Quiñonez. I have been on Taha throughout the week. Not one of my favorite picks. I think Quiñonez is going to be game as hell and mix it up inside with punches, make it a bit of a scrap. I think Taha could be caught with shots in close. Was hurt a bit by Morozov, but overall I'd say he's fairly durable. I think in this fight, it's going to be extremely close and competitive. Both guys kind of young, right? 29 for Taha, only 26 for Quiñonez. What you know about Quiñonez is you're going to get extreme toughness. There is Quiñonez on the scale. That's a crazy tattoo. Looks like a demon goat. A goat devil. I wonder what that is. If somebody knows what that tattoo is, please let me know. There is Taha looking incredibly fit. Do we not have a face-off for these two? That's odd. Well, we got the backup line. Let's see if we can find it here. That's so weird that they don't have a face-off between those two. There it is. MMA Junkie must have missed it, but we have it on Cage Side Press. A little bit grainier as Taha. Size is similar. I think competitive fight. I'll ride Taha by a close decision, but Quiñonez could get it done as a dog. The lines for this fight are near even, but it does favor Taha just a smidge. He's at minus 110 best value. You can find Quiñonez at plus 104. Over around and a half, minus 300. Over 2.5, minus 175, minus 155. I like the over 2.5 here. I think it probably goes the full 3. But both guys are going to bring it. I mean, there definitely could be a finish, but I'm feeling distance. Taha by decision, plus 244. I like Khalid Taha on a very competitive decision, but I don't necessarily love the bet. Next fight of the night. Benoit Saint-Denis versus Gabriel Miranda. Saint-Denis should win here. He's shown extreme toughness. He's been the pick throughout the week. On the scale, is it really going to make a huge difference with Miranda? I don't think so. There's Miranda. I mean, he's got the great stash. He's got a cool look to him. There's Benoit, Saint-Denis, and there's the face-off. I mean, it could end up being closer than expected. I think that Benoit Saint-Denis is the better wrestler of the two. He's the more physically strong guy, but I got to respect Miranda does have jiu-jitsu skills. The stand-up from what I saw wasn't super impressive. It was like an okay Muay Thai style. I see Saint-Denis with pressure being able to touch Miranda, especially Saint-Denis if he can find a way inside with straight shots, being a southpaw here with Miranda. Like, I don't know, that straight left down the line, especially the way Gabriel Miranda kind of stands more so square, Thai-esque style. I feel like Saint-Denis could have some success standing up, and if the grappling cancels out, you have to favor Saint-Denis' striking game. Looking at the lines for this one, Saint-Denis is a big favorite, -265. Miranda is +250. I like Saint-Denis for the win. I'm going to say KO, TKO, but inside of the distance is not a terrible play. Inside distance, Saint-Denis -105. KO, TKO, Saint-Denis +325. Saint-Denis by sub +270. I'm kind of respecting the submission skill set of Miranda on the opposite side. Is maybe a hard guy for Saint-Denis to put away by sub, and he ends up going towards the more ground and pound style from the top. Over 1.5, -110. I do think it goes over a round and a half. I'm kind of thinking late second round TKO. Interesting matchup and a fight that I'm definitely looking forward to. Saint-Denis, the official pick. Next fight. Nasrat Imavov versus Joaquin Buckley. I think Buckley finds that chin. I've been picking him as an underdog throughout the week. I see his style, right, of that athletic, quick boxing with knockout power, closing the gap on a more rangy kickboxer that's, I don't want to say slow-paced. Imavov is not slow-paced, but he is more from a distance patient attack, whereas Buckley can bring the heat. And if he gets inside, I think he's got a speed edge and a power edge for sure. He's definitely more explosive. If Imavov can control that range, he could do damage to Buckley. We've seen Buckley drop by a tall guy, Kevin Holland. He lost that fight by knockout. Imavov, I don't know if he has that same type of success. And also, I'll be honest, I think Buckley has definitely improved since that Kevin Holland fight. And if you look at his track record, 3-fight win streak, pretty impressive. I think Buckley's a threat to Imavov. I think he's going to crack that chin looking at the lines. Imavov is -233 best value, Buckley +230. And we'll look at the scales. I don't think anything necessarily changes because of the scales here. There is Buckley. There is Imavov looking lean. I don't know why Buckley, he's saying, listen, let me turn away from you for a second. Comes in. Look at the size difference, though. This is the concern. Buckley is listed at what? 5'10"? His opponent's 6'3"? Shit, bro. Does Buckley look 5'8"? He looks about 5'8". This is concerning because of the size difference right here. I think Buckley can still crack that chin. He can do damage. We'll see on fight day. Dog still riding Buckley. I have to ride with my guy. But I'll acknowledge a little bit of concern seeing them face off when you see Imavov looking that much longer. It's a factor. But Buckley could, and I think will, find the knockout shot. I'll bring up some of the props for this matchup. The money line odds, as mentioned already, -233 Imavov, +230 Buckley. If you went Buckley by KO, TKO, it'd be +410. I do think under 2.5 is highly likely at -120 here. So I think under 2.5 could be a good target to look towards. The scale is concerning. Big man Imavov, short man Buckley. But if Buckley can get the boxing going and close that gap, I'm a little bit concerned. I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to pick still with my guy Buckley. I think the explosiveness and ability to close distance should lead him to victory. We'll find out tomorrow for the fights. Next fight, it is Perez Ziam versus Michal Figlak. I have been on Figlak throughout the week, but you have to be somewhat concerned due to the UFC step Yes, Cage Warriors quality organization, but you're taking a jump when you're fighting an experienced guy in Ziam who's taken losses, but I do think he's improved from them. Kickboxes, like, I don't even want to say fairly well. He kickboxes pretty good from distance, but that patient kickboxing style, he's going to take his time. Figlak needs to put a pressure striking game on him. Look to get Ziam against the cage. Look to take Ziam down and get some top control. I'm seeing Figlak putting a lot of pressure on Ziam, and it's going to really be dependent on if Ziam can keep Figlak off of him. I'm going to say he can't. I'm going to say that you're going to see Figlak get the win here. I'm riding with him still. I'm going to say decision, but Ziam, not an easy fight. Figlak looks very good on the scale. There's Ziam, looks lean. There's the face-off. See the little bit of the height edge towards Ziam here. Let's see if he can control the range of this fight, because I think for him, that's a key to victory. As far as the odds, Figlak, minus 188 best value, plus 180 for Ziam, the underdog, and an underdog that I don't blame some people for leaning towards. I mean, he's an experienced guy with decent ability. Ziam to win by decision. If he was to win, it'd probably be decision, plus 290. Figlak to win by decision on the other side at plus 115. I am picking Figlak to win. Don't necessarily love this wide over 2.5 at minus 270, but I do think we go over 2.5 here. Figlak by decision, but not an easy fight. Next fight of the night, Dustin Stoltzfus versus Abus Magomedov. I have been riding with Magomedov with high confidence, as I think you have to with a dangerous Dagestani who has striking too. Yeah, he has the wrestling for sure, but he has kickboxing. 2-fight win streak for him. Jumping to the UFC level against, I think, the right guy, Stoltzfus. We'll check him out on the scales. I will say Stoltzfus incredibly fit for this fight. Abus looking very good as well. And then there is the face-off. I think Abus Magomedov could be pretty good in this middleweight division. 24-4-1. He was a PFL tournament finalist, losing to Lewis Taylor by one-punch knockout. Stoltzfus doesn't have that same pop of a Lewis Taylor, so I don't see a one-punch knockout here. I see this matchup as Abus having success striking because he's more versatile on the feet. When he throws strikes, he'll get out of the way of counters. Stoltzfus a little bit, I feel, stiff at times, and can kind of be predictable throwing like the same punch. A lot of rear hands, doesn't work a ton of jabs. Magomedov, the longer and taller guy, factor with the kickboxing, and I think he has better offensive wrestling, and he'd be a danger from the top. I think he could lock up a sub if it goes to the floor. I think he could touch up Stoltzfus and do some damage on the feet, though I will say Stoltzfus proven durable. I'm riding with Magomedov. Method of victory, a little bit cloudy. The original method of victory that I went towards, I believe, was Abus Magomedov to win. Was it by submission? Yeah, it was submission. Do I still think he gets a sub? I think he can get the finish. I'm going to go Abus to win via sub, and I'll look at that sub line. The odds are minus 270 Magomedov, Stoltzfus plus 250. Abus Magomedov to win by submission, plus 460. Inside of the distance is plus 130. I do think he could catch Stoltzfus in some type of submission on the floor. Magomedov, though, dangerous everywhere. And I do think he is a high confidence pick and not a terrible money line attack, though it's a wide money line. Next matchup brings us to the main card. If you guys have not yet, make sure to smash that like button. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. It is Charles Jourdain and Nathaniel Wood. I have been riding with Charles Jourdain throughout the week. Nathaniel Wood is not an easy fight. A lot of people I know have mentioned calf kicks of Nathaniel Wood. They're incredible. I mean, he destroyed the leg of Charles Rosa. I will tell you this, Charles Jourdain is not a Charles Rosa. I feel like Jourdain's going to get the win. He's been the pick. And I feel as though his stand-up game is better than Nathaniel Wood. I think he can do damage to the chin of that Nathaniel Wood. If he closes the gap with, punches inside, powerful kicks, he's a little bit taller than Wood. We'll look at the scales here. There's Jourdain. And there's the face-off. Nathaniel Wood is crispy with his striking, though. I mean, he's got ability for sure. Charles Jourdain, though, I feel like had a somewhat of a breakout performance when he fought against Shane Burgos, I know he lost the fight on the cards, but it was a performance that impressed me. Southpaw stance for Charles Jourdain. Could he find straight shots with that stance? I definitely think it's possible. You get good pressure style from Jourdain, explosive kicks, very explosive just fighting style overall. Brings the heat and is super entertaining. A guy I think the UFC likes to get behind. Nathaniel Wood, also an enjoyable fighter to watch with good stand-up. I'm going to ride Jourdain to take it on the cards in a competitive matchup with a game Nathaniel Woods. Could there be a stoppage? Yes. But I'm just not banking on it. I'm going to pick Jourdain by decision. Jourdain minus 135. Wood plus 127. It's a competitive fight. If Nathaniel Wood can get this win, this is huge for his career. Moved up to featherweight, beats a pretty solid fighter like Jourdain. He's getting himself near the mix there. Wood to win by decision, plus 260. Jourdain by sub is plus 260 also. So the Jourdain win by sub line. Excuse me, Jourdain by decision line. Pretty close to the Wood by decision line. Essentially even, depending what bookie you go to. Is there a possible finish? Yes, but I'm leaning no. Over a round and a half, minus 260. Don't love the bet. I like Charles Jourdain to win. He's minus 135 money line. You got a little plus on Nathaniel Wood. Super competitive fight. I see it as an interesting matchup, and I will closely pick Jourdain. But Wood, I'm going to say this. Wood is going to be game, but Jourdain will edge it out. I'm still confident on Jourdain. I know I've had him as a lock through the Moneyline show, but I am mentioning it's not going to be an easy fight. If you're betting, you might be sweating through the entire thing because Nathaniel Wood is going to be in the face of Jourdain making it competitive. But Jourdain shall prevail. Decision. William Gomis versus Jarno Errens. I'm on Gomis to win. I've been on him throughout the week. Let's look at the scales. There is Errens, there is Gomis, and there's a face-off. You got young, debuting guys, big opportunities on both sides. Gomis from France, especially he's from Paris too, so I mean he's definitely looking to impress in the first event ever there, and it's his UFC debut. It's pretty damn cool. Southpaw stance for Gomis. Pretty interesting type of stance. Hands are low. He's light on his feet. He's got good multi-shot combos, a powerful hook. Does throw pretty good combos when he's in close range too. And Jarno Errens, though, is pretty powerful, and I'd say a little bit underrated with the ground game. 5 wins by submission. He will rip some knee stomps at times, like those oblique kicks or lead leg side kicks. I like Gomis to outstrike Jarno Errens and potentially knock him out here. I'm going to ride with Gomis by KO in the second round, but Errens is not going to be an easy out for him. I do think Gomis can compete and defend takedown attempts by Errens. Because of that, if it's on the feet, I think Gomis with a little bit of that speed edge, that little bit of explosiveness edge, gets himself the win. Gomis for the W. As far as the lines, Gomis is minus 200. Errens plus 195. Let's see here. Gomis, KO, TKO, plus 250. I like Gomis to get the win. And I do lean towards that stoppage. In Paris, I think this is a hell of a fight, guys. Exciting fight on the main card between debuting guys. It's a good matchup, and I think there's a reason it's placed there. Next fight, Nasrat Haqparast and John Makdessi. I'm riding with Nasrat. I do think he should beat John Makdessi, especially, you know, a 37-year-old Makdessi. We'll look at the fighters on the scales. There is Nasrat, a.k.a. Kelvin Gastelum. I mean, he's looking a little soft compared to some of the other fighters we saw. He's got some obvious body fat there. He's got the 2-pack. Makdessi looking pretty decent. Neither guy big for the 155-pound weight class. Intense little face-off. I think you got a good fight between the two. I think Nasrat can have some success with that lead hand. I think a jab will work for him here. Going to be southpaw versus southpaw. We'll see how that plays out. I think Makdessi will look to close distance with power hooks. I think Nasrat will attempt to close range, and as the distance is closed, probably shoot or at least clinch up. With Makdessi, there could be a bit of a grappling edge towards the side of Nasrat. I think he wins this fight. I'm going to lean Nasrat to win by a decision. Could be a finish, but I'm kind of seeing maybe a similar fight to like a Garcia. Granted, different style. Makdessi brings more of a threat with the striking. Nasrat might be the one looking to wrestle in this fight. But we're going Haqparast by decision as far as the odds. Minus 215 Haqparast. Makdessi is plus 200. Let's see here. Haqparast by decision plus 135. I guess that's the expected outcome here between these two fighters. Exciting matchup. I'm going Haqparast, and I think it could be a banger. This card's pretty solid. The featured bout of the night, Alessio Di Chirico and Roman Kopylov. I've been picking Kopylov in a competitive fight over Di Chirico. These are the fighters on the scales. There's Kopylov. He looks pretty solid on the scale. There is Di Chirico. Then there is the face-off. I think Roman Kopylov can have success here. In an ultra-competitive fight on the feet, Kopylov southpaw stance switches from Di Chirico. I see Di Chirico using that ducking hook style of punching that he'll like dip down and throw overhands to try to close that gap on Kopylov. I think he'll land some shots, but I think Kopylov will find straight punches. I think that the head of Di Chirico will be there to be hit. I think Kopylov will get touched up, but he's going to have offensive success. I think these two will probably throw down, and I think Kopylov is going to take it on the cards in a competitive fight. If there was a stoppage, I would have to say I lean it towards Kopylov getting the stoppage win. Di Chirico has been put down before. He was dropped, granted, by high kicks. I mean, you look, he loses this fight by decision against Zach Cummings, but at the end he was high kicked. And then Abdul Razak Al Hassan kicks him one time. Probably not a stoppage on either side, though. I think we're going the full three in a hard fight. Kopylov for the win over Alessio Di Chirico. We will bring up the odds. Minus 105 Kopylov, plus 100 Di Chirico. It's essentially a pick'ems fight. Over 2.5 is minus 170. Granted, with the crowd, I don't know how crazy it's going to get. These two might end up just going to war, and somebody may go to sleep. So I don't really love the props here. But if you went Kopylov decision, it's plus 210. Either fighter by KO, TKO, it's plus 500 for Di Chirico. Kopylov, plus 405. Curious what the sub line is. Kopylov by sub, plus 3,000. Di Chirico by sub, plus 850. I'm riding with Kopylov to get it done. Should be an interesting fight. Don't really love the betting side of either here. Co-main event of the evening. It's Robert Whittaker and Marvin Vettori. I'm picking Robert Whittaker, and I have been throughout the week. If Vettori wins the fight, he's going to be pressing Whittaker against the cage, grinding on him for serious amounts of time. Whittaker will have success from range striking. I think he can touch up Vettori a bit with the hands and the kicks. I feel like he'll fend off takedowns. And let's be honest, Robert Whittaker has a good jiu-jitsu game also. I would have liked to see 5 rounds here between these two. But 3 rounds of action, still, I think enough time for Robert Whittaker to show off the skill set that he's got. Because he's right there at the top of the weight class. Vettori, obviously a top guy as well. But more of that pressure style that makes you look bad as opposed to him, looking like, dynamite out there. He's kind of going to wear on you, beat you up, grind. Vettori on the scale, look good. So did Robert Whittaker. Both guys in the best shapes. No to the handshake by Vettori. That was pretty funny. And there's the face off. I think Robert Whittaker's ready to win. I think he does get it done. And he beats Vettori. I am going to say by a decision. Looking at the odds, minus 200 Whittaker. Vettori plus 190. I got to bank on Robert Whittaker's boxing and kickboxing skill and his overall grappling ability too to defend off a very pressure-heavy grinder and a guy who just wears on you in Marvin Vettori. Whittaker, I think, the better fighter. He gets the win. We'll say decision. Whittaker via decision is minus 105, so not a great line. Not a terrible money line, though. At minus 200, Robert Whittaker should get it done. Main event of the evening. Ciryl Gane versus Tai Tuivasa. I have to pick Ciryl Gane, as is pretty much everyone. The lines are crazy towards Ciryl. He's like, what, minus 600? Minus 475 is the best, but you'll find it at upwards of minus 600. Tai Tuivasa, big plus money, plus 450 as an underdog. Does he have a puncher's chance? Of course, but will he find a way inside on Ciryl? I say most likely, no. The pick is Ciryl Gane. I do think he gets it done, outstriking Tai Tuivasa with a very technical style, some front kicks to the body, jabs, full distance management. Tuivasa might get frustrated and start throwing overhands and struggle to close the gap. Gane will continue to move and touch him up with straights. I do think he eventually, though, gets the stop on Tai Tuivasa because I think Tai will gas later, especially if he's throwing a lot of shots and missing a lot of shots. I do think Tai Tuivasa should work low kicks in this fight and even try to get Ciryl Gane against the cage a bit. I do think Cyrill's going to be strong in the clinch. I think he's technical in the clinch as well. I do think if Tai puts him there, you'll see Gane have moments and maybe even trip Tai and get on top of him a bit. I don't think Ciryl Gane on top in this fight is impossible. Tuivasa, not the wrestler that I think would, kind of give a threat to Gane more so. I feel like the style of Tuivasa is limited for somebody as technical as Ciryl Gane, as quick as Ciryl Gane, and as tall and long as Ciryl. Looking at the scales, Tai didn't take his shirt off, so I'm going to pull him without the shirt from the official weigh-ins, just so you can get an idea of the Tuivasa physique. I'm sure pretty much everybody knows what to expect with Bam Bam, but we'll pull it up. There he is, 265, 266. What's he at? 266. Looking every bit of 266. There he is with a shirt on there. There is Ciryl, looking jacked and shredded. There's the face-off. Kind of anticlimactic face-off, but two respectable guys that are going to go and throw down. I think Gane takes it by TKO in the third. As far as the odds, right, it's hideous. Minus 475 is the best line you'll find on Gane. You're probably not attacking him with the money line. If you go Gane to win in round number 3, that line is sitting at upwards of plus 550. That's round 2. For round 3, it's upwards of plus 700, even upwards of plus 900 at some books. I do think Gane gets it done probably in the third, but if it was fourth or if it was second, I'm not necessarily shocked. And if he goes out there and just wins all 5, like the Rosenstruik fight, I wouldn't be too surprised either. Ciryl Gane should get it done, beating Tai Tuivasa. I do think Tai brings the heat. He's plus 450 as a dog, just for the fun of it. Tuivasa, KO, TKO, that line is plus 650. Tuivasa in round 1, upwards of plus 1,400. I think Ciryl Gane gets it done. If he got caught cold, could he go to sleep? Of course. Tai Tuivasa is a heavy-handed individual, and we're in the heavyweight division too. But Gane for the win in the main event. I do want to bring up the parlays to give you guys something to potentially throw down on for fight night. All right, so if we're looking to create a parlay that I think's pretty likely to succeed, Robert Whittaker, Abus Magomedov, that brings you to minus 100. You add in a Charles Jourdain plus 237 if you want him. He's a confident pick throughout the week. If you don't like him, though, maybe riding towards Benoit Saint-Denis plus 167. But I don't like it, man. Whittaker, Abus, Jourdain plus 237. Haqparast, I'm feeling pretty good about getting a win after seeing the fighters on the scales, plus 387. And if you went, now I think risk is high. But if you went crazy on this one and put Buckley on there, plus 1360. But let's be real. Buckley, a bit of a risky play with that size difference. But I do think money line is a good attack on Buckley. But if you're going to bank them all in a heavy parlay, maybe not the best idea. Overall, pretty good card. One that I'm looking forward to. Be cautious with your bets. There's a few guys that I like parlaying up, but some of them I lean you towards, skipping on them because, you add in some of these riskier fights. Like an Egger should win, but I don't want to touch the first fight of the night. Good matchups, though. I feel like this is going to be a pretty damn entertaining card. I will be live for the entire thing, so make sure to tune into the channel. If you haven't, smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on and share the video as well. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you don't have anything to say, but you just enjoy the content, drop a W in the chat. As always, much love, my people. Thank you all for the continued support on that road to 10K. So make sure to subscribe and share, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace, everybody. Much love.